now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, speaking on behalf of the group of friends in defense of the Charter of the UN.
Señora Presidenta.
Madam President, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela has the honor to take the floor on behalf of the group of friends in defense of the United Nations Charter. Madam President, the challenges on the global agenda for 2024 are complex, perhaps even more so than in previous years. We are facing a global multifaceted crisis, the enduring struggle against poverty as well in the pursuit of genuine equality. We're also facing many sources of instability in economic and financial sectors. Moreover, there is the struggle for food insecurity. Moreover, the pressing problem of climate change as well as natural disasters demand our urgent action. Furthermore, achieving peace and security in line with the purposes enshrined in the UN Charter becomes even more critical as multilateralism continues to face threats from governments of those states that propose exceptionalist visions and attempt to weaken multilateral cooperation and impose their values on the entire world. These challenges command a unified response from the international community in order to uphold our commitment to inclusive multilateralism. The first and primary responsibility of the United Nations in order to properly embrace a culture of peace, dialogue among civilizations, and intercultural and interreligious dialogue lies in condemning the indiscriminate attacks against the Palestinian people in Gaza. These have resulted in a tragedy with an unacceptable human toll. It is vital to achieve a sustainable ceasefire which is fully respected in Gaza, together with the swift provision of humanitarian assistance and the promotion of economic and social development that is key for fostering a lasting peace. Moreover, it is also crucial that those responsible for the atrocity crimes that have been committed against the Palestinian people for more than 75 years be held accountable before the courts in order to once and for all put an end to impunity. Madam President, in this context, we reject the hegemonist and unilateral policies which affect international peace, security, and stability. These threaten the principles and purposes enshrined in the UN Charter, and they undermine the democratization of international relations and multilateralism. That is, multilateralism based on mutual respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states. The culture of peace is based on the sovereign equality of states, who are international actors par excellence in the promotion of dialogue and cooperation among nations. For that reason, we must repeal any unilateral, coercive, economic or political measure. That is an urgent demand that cannot be further postponed. We say that cognizant of the fact that such illegal measures have a negative impact on the individual and collective rights of over a third of humankind. At the same time, they undermine the realization of the right to development. They increase poverty and inequality and restrict access to essential goods and services, and that is in clear contravention of the UN Charter. Madam President, the group of friends of the Charter commends the recent adoption of the General Assembly resolution on follow-up to the Declaration and Programme of Action on a Culture of Peace. The continued adoption of this resolution marks a historic milestone in the United Nations regarding the promotion of a culture of peace and the fight against Islamophobia, fascism, neo-Nazism, racism, racial discrimination, and xenophobia in all its forms and manifestations, including hate speech. These abhorrent expressions of disdain for human dignity have been intensified by an irresponsible approach being taken to mass communication that mistakenly uses the right for the freedom of expression as a justification for this scourge. At the same time, it neglects special duties and responsibilities in this regard, inter alia, the need to respect the rights of reputations of others and to protect national security or public order, inter alia. we unequivocally condemn the desecration of the Quran by some, as well as the glorification of Nazism, anti-religious sentiment, and the persecution and stigmatization of migrants, among other expressions of hatred and intolerance. We firmly believe that fostering understanding and respect among various cultures and religion is of paramount importance in our shared pursuit of global peace. To conclude, the group of friends reaffirms its commitment to continue working towards developing effective instruments to combat intolerance. We are committed to working with the United Nations to promote the implementation of the Declaration and Programme of Action on a Culture of Peace. We remain committed to resolutely condemning incitement to hatred and to promoting intercultural and interreligious dialogue. We are also committed to promoting the practice of non-violence through education, dialogue, cooperation, and diplomacy for peace. These are concrete means to achieve the ideal of a world in which we respect the principles of the UN Charters. That is an ideal that we will never give up, despite the adversities facing today's polarized world. Thank you, Madam President.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela,